Hey, what is up, guys? Ryan here, and I'm excited, even though I don't feel that great. Randall, what is up? Drew, because I am the only one that is on the spot when something happens. So I didn't see the first part of your post. I don't know why, but I didn't see it. So I assume you're answering to my question that I asked of why do you carry a gun, and do you carry a gun every day, everywhere you go? What's up, Kathy? What's up, Standout Productions? Chris, Dylan, good to see you guys. Yeah. Raul, what's up? We're excited. We're just going to be kind of hanging out, chilling. What's up, Facebook user? Remember, if you guys are watching on Facebook, you got to type your name so that I can actually see who you are. Joe, what up, American? I like that, Joey. I like that, buddy. You know, it's really interesting. My daughter, Paisu, was telling me how many kids, when they do the Pledge of Allegiance in the morning, don't stand up and actually, you know, put their hand over their heart and do the normal thing, which is crazy because when I was a kid, every single kid did it. We live in such a society today that they want to really badmouth America. Man, America is the greatest. I just met this guy. He's lived in America for 14 years, and he came here from Cuba. He said him and his family, they built a raft, and they sailed the raft across the ocean to get to America. Man, you don't do that if your country is amazing. He did that because he knew his family would have a better opportunity here in America. So anyway, got me on a little rant. What's up, Plants and Saint? Jason, Vinny, what's up? Kenneth, Wilson, Kathy, every day, everywhere. Awesome. You know, I'm really shocked. I'm shocked at how many people get a concealed carry permit, and then I see them, you know, out in public, whatever, or they come to the class and just say hi again, and they tell me, oh, I left my gun in the car. Oh, this is my favorite. I only carry my gun when I'm going to a bad area. Like, what does that even mean? I had a older woman in my class on Saturday who literally missed a burglary in her home by minutes. So it was her day off. She just had to go do some running around or whatever. So she left her house, and within about 4 to 5 minutes of her leaving the house, this bad guy kicks open the door and starts ransacking it. Now, thankfully, this bad guy was very dumb, and this woman had a Ring doorbell, so she was able to see when the bad guy actually came in because it notified her. And then she was smart. She did not go home. Instead, she called 911, and the police came, and the guy was still there, and he got arrested. But just imagine, you're in your house, and that guy kicks open the door. Man, that would be scary. I had another guy last week at 2 in the morning, guys. 2 in the morning. Somebody starts banging on his front door. So, I mean, that's not normal. Like, if you're banging on my door at 2 in the morning, something had better be really wrong, and you really need us, like, now, right? Like, Tiffany's sister comes and bangs on my door at 2 in the morning. That's okay, because I'm here to help you. But anybody else, yeah, I'm going to be mad. So anyway, person starts banging. He goes and opens his front door, which I think is a massive mistake. So right when he opened the front door, this person took off running, ran down the driveway, jumped in a car, and they left. Now, in my opinion, you guys tell me in the comments below, in my opinion, I think that person thought nobody was home, and I think they were trying to knock just to see if anybody answered, and then they were going to break into that house and commit a burglary. So just absolutely crazy. Yeah, Joey says the Boulder incident is a perfect example of carry 100% of the time you're legally allowed to. That's it, dude. How many people in that grocery store in Boulder thought they were going to be involved in a shooting that day? We simply never know when this stuff is going to happen. And you either have it all the time, everywhere you go, or you might as well not have it at all because it truly is pointless. Raul says he carries even in his house. I carry in my house, like if I'm going to and from, right? Like if I'm working, what was I doing today? I went over there to have lunch, and or went home to have lunch. I had my gun on me because I was only there for a little bit, right? And I jumped on the computer, did some stuff. But yeah, I wouldn't say I don't carry when I'm in my house, usually, but I also have guns always pretty close in safes when I'm inside of my house. So anyway. Okay. Drew says, the people fleeing Cuba are not sailing to Jamaica or Dominican Republic. You know, America is the only place that I know of. I haven't traveled the world a lot. I've been to Turkey, I've been to Germany, I've been to the United Arab Emirates, and I've been to Kyrgyzstan. So that's about in Mexico. And then a couple like, Bahama Islands and stuff. So I haven't been to a lot of places, but America seems like the place where if you actually try, if you actually take some time and read some books, develop your skills, you can go from nothing to something. But it seems like a lot of people in America today just want to bitch and complain about why their life is terrible. Why don't you just go out and fix your life? We have that ability in America. So anyway, Joey says he carries inside of his house. I take a shower even with my gun close by. Do you guys remember there was a guy, this is a true story, I believe. That probably doesn't count, right? True story, I think. So this guy, you know, like the waterproof cases you can put your wallet in or your phone and stuff like that, that actually like clamps. This guy had a small revolver inside of one of those clamshell things, and he had it hanging inside of his shower. So for years, his buddies, everybody's making fun of him. Then one day he's taking a shower, somebody breaks into his house, and this guy was able to grab his gun in the shower and shoot and kill this burglar, home intruder, or whatever the hell it is. If it's a true story, that is pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy, but I don't carry a gun in the shower. Okay, so let's get some good questions here. So it's Jason says, Ryan, I know you're big on NATO round firearms. Do you have like less common rounds? Yeah, I've got a bunch. It seems like we're having some issues with some glitching and stuff tonight, which sucks. Let me know in the comments if you guys can see it glitching, or maybe it's just me seeing that. I'm not sure. So yeah, I've got several 300 blackout guns. Let's see, as far as pistols go, you know, I've got 9, 40, and 45. I've got like a couple muzzle loader black powder guns, which are cool. I don't own them to shoot them. I just own them because they're cool. Got some 38s. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. So it is glitching. Okay. I don't know what's happening. But so sorry guys. Maybe we're just having some problems. But yeah, a couple of the calibers that I'd like to get. I'd like to get a 50 AE Desert Eagle. And I'd like some of the crazy like AR calibers, like the 458 SOCOM, not because I would like use it in defense, just because I think it's neat and it's kind of cool. So anyway, okay. Coworker of mine has a felony, 20 years in a different state, non-violent or drug related. Will they be able to restore their rights here in Florida? So Marcel, it's a great question. So when you receive a felony conviction or an adjudication of guilt withheld in another state, you actually have to apply for clemency from the state that the conviction occurred in. So let's say he was convicted in New Jersey of a crime, whatever that crime is, a felony. He would have to get his civil or this person would have to get their civil and firearm rights restored in that state. Yeah, so Florida couldn't help. It would have to be done in the state that the crime actually happened in. Okay, so NS, great question. This is it right here. Is concealed carry in a church prohibited? So the answer is no, generally. So if your church is just a church, then we are always allowed to conceal carry a firearm at a church. You don't need permission from anybody. You're just allowed to carry your gun, just at like you're going to Publix, Walmart, or whatever. The challenge comes if a church also has a school attached to the property. So if there's a school attached to the property, it becomes a school property, not necessarily church property. So there is a bill that is in the works right now. Let's see if I can get the number. I guess, no, I don't have it, so it doesn't matter. But there's a bill that's already passed the Florida House of Representatives. So now it has to go to the Senate committee, then the Senate, then both chambers, and then the governor. That would allow you to conceal carry a firearm, or possess a firearm rather, at a church with a school attached. But for the moment, if there's a school attached to a church, you cannot have a firearm there legally. Okay, how do you feel about bullpup semi-automatic shotguns? Thinking about getting one in the next day or two. Yeah, bullpup shotguns are cool. A bullpup semi-auto shotgun, probably pretty neat. I'd like to know what model semi-automatic shotgun you're considering buying in a bullpup. There's none that I can really think of. Like, I've seen some Sega 12 gauge bullpup conversions. Not really my thing, but it would probably look pretty cool. And let's see. No real other ones. So yeah, tell me what model you got, and I'd like to take a look. Okay, so Placid Saint says, isn't there a case that might be going to the Supreme Court on that with non-violent felonies? Maybe. I actually am not sure. So maybe. I personally think that it is really stupid that people that are convicted of a non-violent felony lose their rights the way that they do. I just think it's really dumb. Like, I've met people that have been convicted of a felony for very silly reasons. Me, when I got arrested for shooting in the woods, they were talking about, I got arrested and charged with a felony. I mean, that is a dumb reason to become a convicted felon. But, yeah, I think people should have their rights restored. As long as you're not out there violently hurting people, you shouldn't be losing your right to own and possess guns. Have I seen the Desert Tech bullpup bolt-action rifles? Jason, yes, I have seen them. I've been able to play with them a lot when I go to SHOT Show. They always have a booth there, and they are freaking nice. There's one Desert Tech. I can't think of the name. Desert Tech bullpup rifle. This is probably the one that you're referencing. Recon Scout Sniper is the name. The Recon Scout Sniper. I love it, dude. So it is just so sexy, so amazing. It's really short, very, very high quality. I think it would probably not be that much recoil to shoot. And it's just so, like, versatile that you're really getting, like, every rifle you would need in one. So you're able to shoot, you're able to buy, like, different bolts and different barrels. So you can shoot 50 BMG. You can shoot 338 Lapua. So those are kind of the fun rounds. You're not going to hunt with those, though, right? But that's just fun to shoot long distance. But then you can swap out the barrel for a 308, a 6.5 Creedmoor, and actually use that as your hunting gun. Now, it is a $5,000 rifle last time I looked into it. And then the optic you would put on that, you would easily, if I bought one of those guns, which I will eventually, not right now, but one day when I buy one of those guns, you got to put an optic on it that is worth it. When we had the gun store, we bought a guy brought in a Barrett and wanted us to sell it. So we had a Barrett M107, badass $10,000 semi-automatic 50. But this guy had the cheapest, like, maybe this was a $500 optic. So imagine like a Redfield optic on a 50 BMG. It's like, dude, you spent 10 grand on this awesome gun, but then you cheaped out on the optic, which just makes it very difficult to actually maximize the potential of that gun. Okay, so Placid Saint says he'd hunt with it, hunt tyrants. Yeah, you know, that day may come, man. That day may come. I hope to God it doesn't come. It could, though. Let's see. Jack Steelfett says, I heard that armor-piercing rounds are not allowed in Florida, federal crime. But the definition of armor-piercing is much like a full metal jacket. Do I need to be concerned with if I may buy accidentally armor-piercing? Yeah, so what you're confused about, and I talk about this in my book, Florida Concealed Carry Law. So if you don't have a copy of this yet, sounds like you need to pick it up. The federal law prohibits the possession of armor-piercing ammunition in a handgun. It does not prohibit the use or possession of armor-piercing ammunition in a rifle. So you're always allowed to have armor-piercing ammo in a rifle on a federal level, never inside of a handgun. So the problem that people would have with this, and I believe just off the top of my head, the definition of armor-piercing ammo is a truncated cone with a steel core, something like that. So I do talk about the full definition in my book, so check it out, and you'll get to see all the laws and stuff. But yeah, it's definitely not true in Florida. What Florida restricts is mostly shotgun ammo. So bolo shells, dragon's breath, exploding ammunition, flechette shells, and there's one other, and then the armor-piercing ammo in a handgun. Okay, what red dot do you recommend for an AR? Turn up the volume. I'm in the back stacking wood, listening to the knowledge. Okay, I'm not going to, I can't turn it up because I've already tested all of this and I don't want to blast everybody else. But, you know, it really depends on how much money you have to spend. For me, on my primary carbine, I run a Aimpoint T2 Micro with a 3 MOA red dot. So I think I paid $800 for that red dot, but that's the mount and then also the red dot. So yeah, so it just depends on how much that you have. I also recently purchased, because I'm planning an AR build that we're just waiting until we move into the new house to do it, because we're going to film a course so you guys have access to it. But I bought a SIG Romeo 5, I think is what it's called. I actually like it. It's almost identical to, it looks identical to the Aimpoint, but it's just like the cheaper knockoff version. And I think I only paid like $350. So the big like difference here is the ability of the optic to hold the zero. So my main carbine, which is a Stag, and that Aimpoint, it holds a zero. So I zeroed it a long time ago, a year ago, and every time I go shoot it, man, it's on the money. So with the SIG Romeo 5, I would probably have to re-zero it more and more because as you shoot it, the recoil is kind of just bouncing that reticle out of the area. Yeah. Vortex. I forgot about Vortex. I did buy a Vortex 2 and I love it. Vortex is making really good stuff for pretty cheap. I don't know much about Holosun. I've shot their optics a little bit. I don't know enough to really give an opinion, but yeah, I think they're great. But I do like Vortex for a good like budget kind of option. What I will tell you though, I probably have like 5 EOTechs right now. And I'll bet you only 2 of the damn EOTechs work. Lots of different problems with EOTech. Now, the good thing is that it only costs $60. You can send it to EOTech and they'll fix it or replace it. But it just pisses me off. Like, it just keeps happening. Battery issues. One of them, when you look through the glass, it's got like some weird type of marking on the glass now. I don't know how it happened. But it just really pisses me off that it keeps happening. So I would probably encourage you to steer away from EOTech. Okay, so Drew says, put a Holosun 510 on my AR pistol. Haven't used it much, but it's real nice. Nice. Yeah, you know, I've heard good, just like all products, right? You hear good stuff. You also hear the kind of negative stuff, but it'll take time. Yeah, Holosun is good. It's only $320. Good, and I think that's fair. I think that's a pretty fair price. What you should not do is go to the gun show and start buying like UTG products from China. There's another company, man, what is it called? They're always at the gun shows like crazy. Hey, thanks, Michelle, for sharing. I appreciate you. Yeah, if the rest of you, if you haven't shared yet, I would appreciate it if you do that. What is the name of that company? NC Star. Lots of new carbine owners, they go to the gun show, they see NC Star products, and they're like, oh, you know, it's only $25 to get this optic. Why would I spend $800 when I can just buy it for $25? It's because those products are primarily made, they're not made for real guns. Soon as you may zero it, soon as you shoot that thing a couple times, all of it is going to get wrecked. So it's just not my thing. Okay. Marcel says, whatever you don't buy, pity. Okay, I don't know what that means. Sorry, man. Okay, so the other day, someone told me it was wrong for me to know the process of how to get a firearm, but what is a good website to get a... The other day, someone told me it was wrong for me to know the process of how to get a concealed carry firearm. What does that mean? So somebody was like trying to say to you, it's wrong for you to get a carry permit or wrong for you to kind of inquire about it. I remember I was working at Culligan Water, and I remember we were having like our big annual meeting, and I shared with some of the guys there that I was like really wanting to buy my first gun. And I'll bet you 20 people were like, you don't need a gun. Don't buy a gun. It's so dangerous, blah, blah, blah. And now I look back and I'm like, man, you guys are pansies. I want to say a different word, but man, you guys are pansies. Like, what were you so stressed about? Owning and possessing a gun is very simple if you take the time to master the fundamentals that I teach in my courses. But they really, that's the anti-gun kind of culture, right? They really went ballistic, and they did not want me to get a gun. I did it anyway, though, because I don't care about them. Okay, it will rattle itself apart eventually. Yep, very much so. Vortex has a lifetime warranty, no questions asked. Okay, good. I really want to buy for the LWRC individual carbine that I bought last year. I really want to buy the Vortex variable power optic. It's pretty pricey though. So we're going to wait. It doesn't need an optic right away. With the potential bill that Biden may pass, would you recommend buying magazines with cash? You know, I don't think that stuff really matters, because when it comes time, like Biden was saying that he's okay with confiscating guns without a warrant and all this kind of stuff. If it ever got that bad, bro, it doesn't matter if you bought it with a credit card, you bought it with cash. None of that stuff matters. What does matter is that you have them. So I've got a lot. I have big Rubbermaid bins as big as this desk full of gun parts, magazines, and all that kind of stuff. So you pretty much want, like for an AR-15, it is very normal for a person that owns an AR-15 to own 20 plus magazines. It's reasonable, because some of the mags you're going to use for like just training. So you're going to bang those around. It's okay to get dirt and crap in it. And some of them will be like your actual shit has hit the fan, and this is what I'm going to go to war in, defend my family, whatever. Let's see. Unless you've been living under the rock, you should buy a gun. Yeah, Placid's saying, I couldn't agree with you more, buddy. Okay, Michelle says, I have people come to me all the time asking for the procedures on getting a permit. Awesome. Or to buy a gun. Yeah, and you know, it's, I say this a lot, right? Our goal with this community, what I'm trying to really help us do here, is to understand that just because somebody is anti-gun, it doesn't mean they're a bad person. It just means that their mindset right now is telling them that that's a proper way of thinking. So I had this woman in the concealed carry class last week. When I asked her why she wanted to carry a gun, she said that she has been raped 4 times in her life. All separate incidents. Some of them happened when she was a kid, some of them as a teenager, and that as an adult woman, but 4 separate times. So in those 4 separate times, she was never motivated to get a gun and try to defend herself, because her mindset told her that that was the wrong thing to do and that that wasn't going to help her. But something changed. She said, my ex-boyfriend just tried to rape my daughter, who's 15 or something like that. And I said, oh my God, so did you is this man still around your daughter? And she said, no, we got out of there. But that was the catalyst that changed her mind to make her realize, you know what? I need a gun to protect not myself, because as parents, we rarely care about ourselves or our own safety, right? I don't. I would much rather I die and my children and Tiffany are safe than them die and I'm alive, right? I don't want that. So we rarely care about ourselves, but as soon as something bad is threatening your kids, that's when you're ready to take action. So it's important. Even when people are bashing the Second Amendment, even when people are bashing, calling for all this gun control, we don't want to attack them. We want to simply share little bits of information of why we believe what we believe. And hopefully, it's kind of like when we're talking about Jesus, right? We're just planting a small little seed, and someday it may grow or it may not. But we just want to be positive so that if it grows, you're going to be a good kind of role model and something for them to kind of get into the community. I don't know. Hopefully that makes sense. Craig, what's up, man? Dr. T, good to see ya. Okay, Michelle says, what do you think of the new Smith and Wesson 9 Shield Plus? Michelle, I like it. I think okay, let me finish the rest of your question here. Is it worth it to buy another 9mm when I already own 4 9mm guns? Michelle, frankly, you got some catching up to do. In just my range bag that I take when I go shooting, I bet you I have 20 handguns, most of them 9mm, all of them hit 9mm, I guess, a couple 22s. So you got some catching up to do. Yeah, if you like the Shield Plus and you think it's going to be a little bit better for you, you know, I own the regular Shield and I love it. I think it's a great gun, but in my opinion, it's still just a little bit thin. It feels just a little bit strange in my hand, but I think it's an amazing gun. And, you know, Smith and Wesson created the Shield Plus, which holds 13 plus 1 round, to try to compete with the SIG P365, the Hellcat, and those kind of really tiny, high-capacity guns. And I think they hit it out of the ballpark. So I love it. I was talking to Tiff the other day, and I said, you know, I really like that Shield Plus. And she's like, you can go buy it if you want to. But now I want you guys to all remember this. I told her, nope, we're moving into a new house. We got lots of expenses right now. I'm going to not buy the gun because we're moving, and I'd rather buy stuff for the house. So chalk that up. When I do buy a gun and she's mad at me, all of you guys are my witnesses. Okay, so what you mean is someone told you the other day that it was wrong for me to know the process of how to get a firearm. Yeah, I think that's freaking stupid. You have a constitutional right to own a gun. My 9-year-old son knows the process of how to get a gun. Like, we went to this gun store on Sunday and they had Lincoln he really loves the SIG, what is it called? Yeah, the SIG Scorpion. He loves it. So he said, Dad, can I hold the Scorpion? So I asked the sales rep there, and it was so funny. As the sales rep was pulling it off the wall, Lincoln goes, oh yeah, that's my little baby. And I thought, this is hilarious, man. This 9-year-old little kid has already in love with this SIG Scorpion. So maybe I'll buy him one for his birthday. I don't think he's watching right now, but I think it would be a great gun for him. I think he'd love it. So anyway, it's irrelevant, right? What matters more, it's not about the process of you knowing how to buy a gun. What matters is your heart and your mind of why you want to use it. Somebody who goes out to buy a car and they say, I'm buying this car because I want to run over a crowd and kill a bunch of people, that's the wrong mindset. But you wanting a gun because you want to keep you and your family members safe from evil, that is what we need more of in America today. Okay, Michelle says you own 2 Shields already. Cool. The original one and the 2.0. Nice. Got the Hellcat. Wondering about the comparison between the Hellcat and the Shield Plus. You know, my complaint with the Hellcat is that it's a little bit square. And I think I posted a video about this on Instagram because Tiff and I were both looking at it. And Tiff said the same thing. The grip on the Hellcat is nice, but it's a little bit square. It doesn't feel natural or perfect in your hand. The Shield Plus, though, I'm telling you, Michelle, they hit it out of the park. It feels perfect in your hand. It's very comfortable. You will love it. So if you already own both other Shields, you pretty much have to buy the Shield Plus and the 380 Shield 9mm. You just got to round off the whole collection. Okay, any other questions? Let me see what Jose says. Why can somebody be denied for a concealed carry permit? Great, great question. Now, I don't know if you guys are aware or not, but Carry University actually has a blog. And today, for about 2 hours, I worked on this blog post of exactly why. So you got to go to carryuniversitytraining.com. You guys will see a bunch of amazing stuff. We've been working really hard on it. Maybe I didn't publish it. Maybe I did. Okay, but it's called Who is Not Allowed to Have a Firearm? Who is not? And there's basically, okay, here it is. It is published. So there's basically like several different categories of people who are not allowed to have a carry permit. There are people who are prohibited under federal law, people that are prohibited under state law, and those could be people that have a physical disability, have been convicted of a felony, adjudication of guilt withheld, or simply got arrested because they had a bag of marijuana inside of their car. All of those people could be prohibited. So if to get the full answer, because I couldn't talk about it right now, it'd take way too long. To get the full answer, head over to carryuniversitytraining.com and search who is not allowed to have a carry permit, and it should pop up. So Placid Saint says, anybody who voted for Joe Biden. You know, here's my thing, man. I don't like sleepy, creepy Joe. I think that he's a very bad president. However, I still respect the people that voted for him, and I have a lot of people that voted for him that are left-leaning Democrats that take my class. And, you know, I think it's okay, right? I just think this dude is too old. Too old and too easily bought. Okay, so Michelle says, I'm sold on the plus. Thank you. Okay, awesome. I think you're going to love it. I think you'd be very happy with that. For fun, make a video on top excuses on buying guns and ammo to the wife. I think that is an amazing video idea. I think that's amazing. You know, it's funny. I read a lot of books, and when you read books about sales and stuff like that, they always say people buy stuff based on emotion, and then they attempt to justify it logically. So the author, I don't remember his name, but he was talking about somebody going and buying a Ferrari. So he bought the Ferrari. The emotion part is because he wanted his neighbors to see him pull into his house with a Ferrari. He always wanted one, right? And whatever. It's just he wants the feeling he's going to get from having a Ferrari. But then he pulls it home and his wife freaks out and she's like, what the hell did you do? And he's like, I bought it because it was 30% off and it's going to get great gas mileage. And I thought it was hilarious, right? That you buy a Ferrari and then you come home and you're like, it gets great gas mileage. Yeah, bro, not very good. Okay, we already answered that question. What do you guys think about kind of Joe Biden talking about banning the AR-15? I know Renee had a question about this. What do you think about Biden said today about seizing your guns without a warrant in Forbes? You know, politicians love to just talk because, frankly, they don't really get held accountable to anything they say, which is one of the major problems that we have with politics, is they just say whatever the hell they want, and most people don't take the time to actually research it and look it up, so that they really just don't know what's really happening. Biden can say that shit as much as he wants. He can say it, but it doesn't mean he could ever enforce it. And I think even if he tried to do something like that, I think the Supreme Court would overturn it. Hopefully, some federal judges would block it because that violates more than just the Second Amendment of our Bill of Rights. Like, it's crazy to think. Yeah, Tiffany was like, Tiffany's like not on social media or anything very much. So she goes, Ryan, somebody posted a picture and they said, if Joe Biden comes to get my guns, I'm just going to put them on a top of a flight of stairs. She goes, why are people doing this? And I told her, you know, it's because Joe Biden's slipping and falling on these stairs and whatever. So I thought it was funny. Okay, Drew says, I buy things because I want them. DGAF, what anybody thinks. Yeah, that's pretty much the way I am, which is a tough mindset when you're married. But yeah, I buy what I feel I'm going to buy, and that's just it. So Lewis, he's talking about an executive order. I don't even think he's allowed to do that. An executive order to go door to door without a warrant and take people's guns? He doesn't have that much effing power, okay? What's dangerous about the political landscape that we kind of find ourselves in right now is the federal government is only granted the power that they have, that is granted to them under the Constitution. So there's lots and lots of things that the federal government is now doing and has inserted themselves into our lives that the Constitution does not grant them the power to do. So yeah, he doesn't have the right to do that. He can do something, but he's not doing it. So with the bump stock, so is the bump stock coming back? I don't know. I think it's going to be, as a business owner, if I was the owner of Slide Fire Solutions, how I would look at it is a massive, massive risk. And I don't think the risk is worth the reward because they're not going to stop here. They're going to keep coming for bump stocks. So now that founder of Slide Fire Solutions, right? Just imagine this process. You bet your entire life savings, everything. You work 80 plus hours a week for years. You build this business. You've got all these capital investments of infrastructure, of your equipment, your employees, all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, so millions of dollars, all of a sudden the federal government says, your business is now illegal. Okay? So now he took all that equipment. He's got to liquidate it and get his money back, right? So he takes all that equipment, he sells it. He has to fire his employees and they have to go get a job somewhere else. He's got to sell the building they were in or let it lease out to somebody else. So now they say, oh, wait, we screwed up. It is legal. Now this guy has to start his business at ground one. He's got to go lease another building. He's got to reincorporate his business. It's been since 2017, which means his corporations are dissolved. He has to start over. And wouldn't it suck for this dude to start over, spend millions of dollars again, take the risk, and all for some other judge to overturn it and say, nope, they are illegal again? Like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. And it just pisses me off that they're able to do something like this with arbitrarily changing the definition of something. And that's the strategy, though. Make it so difficult, make it so complicated, most people just give up. Hopefully, Congress doesn't go after trigger groups and stay ignorant on lightweight triggers and binary triggers. No, Placid Saint. So in the state of Florida, at least, the bump stock ban in Florida also includes, it says, any modification to a firearm that allows the shooter to fire the gun faster than it was originally designed. So that means binary triggers. What was that thing called? Not a bump fire trigger. TACCON trigger. So TACCON, binary, those would all be illegal, right? Under the Florida law that's currently exists. I also believe a judge could easily say, I've got a Geisy automatic 3-pound trigger on one of my carbines. He could easily say that is now classified as a bump fire. So, yeah, it sucks. What's up, Tom Cigars? Tiffany was reading through all your comments earlier last night or the night before or whatever. She's like, this dude is freaking hilarious. So I thought that was pretty funny. Okay, looking forward to your show every week. Awesome. We appreciate it, man. We think it's great. Okay, any other questions? Hence, I never modify the triggers. When buying a gun, I just get one with a trigger I like. Yeah, that's a great point. When I buy my Glocs, the trigger on Glocs usually suck out of the box. Last week? Was it last week? Yeah, last week I shot a Canik TP9 Elite for the first time, and I am freaking blown away. The trigger on that gun is amazing right out of the box. And I thought, how awesome is this, right? Because now a concealed carry permit holder could have a really high quality, really amazing gun for concealed carry, an amazing trigger, and the prosecution, if they're ever involved in a self-defense shooting, can't say that you broke the manufacturer's warranty by modifying the trigger. So it is important to buy something right out of the box that's really good if you're planning to carry it concealed. Now, for my fun guns, and stuff like that, guns that I wouldn't use in home defense, those are the guns that I do still modify because it just doesn't matter. Sorry for ruining The Walking Dead, but the title says it all. Everyone dies. Yeah, I mean, whatever. She's fine. I learned to bump fire my AK with my thumbs. And isn't that the hilarious part, right? So if you're really concerned about bump fires, are you going to ban belt buckles, right? It's just idiotic. But again, it goes back to, you guys have all seen on social media, thousands of people all of a sudden are like gun control activists. Like every second video and meme or whatever is about why we need gun control. Hilarious that last year you saw very little on gun control. Everything was on COVID because that was a narrative that the media was really trying to push. But man, they are pushing this gun control agenda hard right now. And people are proposing things that will not actually stop or reduce violence. You know, you guys may get pissed off at me here. If we could prove that AR-15s were actually killing 50,000 people a year, it might make sense to me of why we need to change something to make sure we're not having so many people get killed. But the bottom line is less than 200 people every year are getting killed with a rifle. We don't know if that's a bolt-action Remington 700 or if it's a LWRC AR-15. We just know it's a rifle. So the bottom line is, even if you made them illegal, even if every scumbag in the country said, you know what, we're not going to follow any other law, but we're going to follow that law. Even if that happened, at most, we're saving 200 people. It just doesn't make sense to me. Wait, so in Florida you can have, yeah, I have lots of Geisley automatics triggers. So yeah, totally legal. Yeah, Drew says something like 1,500 people die from knives. Yeah, I know I brought this up a couple live streams ago and I couldn't find it, but I did find it. Let me just read to you guys real quick some of the gun violence statistics that are just really crazy. So in 2019, 13,927 people died from homicide. Of that, a little over 10,000 people used a firearm and were killed. 38,000 people die from a vehicle death every single year. 38,000. So that's almost 4 times more people die from cars than die from guns. 480,000 people die from cigarettes every single year. 70,000 from drugs, 84,000 from diabetes, 10,000 from drunk driving. So it's just really crazy to me. If you really want to protect everybody from ever dying, it's not possible. Like, we don't live in a nerfed world where you can stop all death. Unfortunately, bad shit happens. And I would rather be ready and have the ability to defend myself than pretend the sheep mindset, right? Pretend that the bad thing is just never going to happen. Heart disease, number 1. Yep. But we're not trying to ban like hosted Twinkies or anything. Shall not be infringed. Why can't the discussion end there with those words? You know, yeah, it's true. Assault vehicles are a global health crisis. Yeah, exactly, dude, right? So it's just absolutely crazy. So thinking self-defense, you need to be responsible for every shot. Full auto. Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't use a full auto gun. I would use an MP5 in self-defense. Actually, I wouldn't, because I wouldn't want the government to freaking take it until the trial was over. But you don't need full auto for self-defense. My buddies that were Green Berets and Delta and SEALs and stuff, they told me they kept their guns on semi-auto unless they were just trying to do like suppressive fire, because they just had a lot more control. So, okay, Clashy says, what if you're 19 and you build a Polymer 80? Can you legally keep it? Yeah, Clashy. So you are allowed to legally possess a firearm in the state of Florida at the age of 18. As long as you are not a prohibited person. So you're not a felon, domestic violence, any of that stuff. But yeah, you're allowed to manufacture your own gun. Polymer 80s are legal, and you're allowed to do it because you're over the age of 18. So yeah, I hope you're excited about that. The challenge comes, though, is that it is illegal for you to buy 9mm. I'm sorry. It is illegal for you to buy, listen to my words very carefully, because I'm only going to say this once. It is illegal for you to buy 9mm ammunition for a handgun under federal law. You're allowed to buy 9mm ammunition for a rifle under federal law as being under 21. But under 21, you are only allowed to buy 9mm ammunition for a long gun. Okay, so guns are just airbags for life. Love it. Round them daily. We don't need 8 airbags and a 3-point harness in your car. Yeah, true. Okay. High capacity transport is dangerous. 1776, we had 16-year-olds fighting the Brits. Yeah, think about it. Like even World War II, man, there were young kids, 15, 16 years old fighting. This goes back to the concept of the Pussyfication of America. If we look at society, really only the last couple generations have not been handling guns on a daily basis. It's only, so back in the day, the father gave the kid the gun and said, go hunt some birds so we have dinner tonight. Go see if you can get a deer or a pig or something so we can cook some food, right? That was very normal back then. It was daily. But today, with refrigeration and grocery stores and like the industrialized world that we live in, that's where things have changed. But that's really only the last 100, 150 years or so. Man, people have been going out there forever since guns have been around saying, take this gun, go find an animal, shoot it, clean it, bring it back, and let your mom cook it. But today we want to pretend like kids aren't responsible enough to have it. We went for a walk just for the live stream, and Lincoln brings his little pocket knife. So kind of like this one. This is one I found in my office, actually. Kershaw, pretty nice. So Lincoln's got his little pocket knife because he is committed to defending the family. He is a sheepdog, the purest form of a sheepdog. And I think it's great. I let them carry their knives when they're home, but they're never allowed to carry their knives to school. We do talk about that a lot. Let's see. Rob says, what do you think about shotgun for home defense and what ammo should I have? Rob's shotguns are great for home defense. You definitely want to have some double-aught buckshot. I would encourage you to buy like Hornady Critical Defense double-aught buckshot, something that's going to really cause a lot of damage and stop that dude. I've seen pictures of guys getting shot with birdshot, and yeah, they're going to have a rough like month in recovery, but the dude's still there. And I'm sure he could still violently attack you if he was on drugs or whatever. So buckshot is definitely going to stop him and keep you safe. Guns that I absolutely love, shotguns, the Mossberg 500, Mossberg 590, Remington 870. Those are all 3 amazing shotguns that you would love that are pretty cheap. Okay, Glock recommends using manufacturer's ammunition. Is there any issues with using reloaded ammo in Glocks? Yeah, Chris, so you void the warranty with the Glock. It's funny, we went to this gun show for another episode of Guns and Tacos Monday, and it's called Buffalo Bills in Orlando. Pretty cool place. And they specialize in black powder. I don't know much about reloads. I've never done it. I have no desire to. But there was a guy there. He was telling us all about it. And he said that when those machines are kind of working, when you're reloading, it's very easy to put a little bit too much powder, a little bit too much powder, and over pressurize the load and potentially damage the barrel or cause the gun to explode. And he said that's the reason why firearm manufacturers void the warranty if you shoot reloads, because they can't be in control of what's happening. So just be cautious. You know, most gun ranges will not allow you to shoot remanufactured ammo at their range, so keep that in mind also. Black Acid shotguns are pretty cool. I don't know if they are actually making shotguns. They make like some conversion kits and a bunch of different components for the 870 and the 500. Maybe they do, but yeah, I've heard lots of good things about Black Aces. So yeah, Clashy, it is legal for a 19-year-old to own 9mm pistol ammunition, but you're not allowed to legally buy 9mm pistol ammunition, which again is the dumbest crap. You've got these politicians that understand nothing trying to create these laws and policies. There's a Glock gun class action lawsuit. Glock gun class action lawsuit. So what's the class action lawsuit? Yeah, so Tom Cigars, it is legal if it's a gift, as long as you don't exchange any money for the gift. Yeah, lots of gun laws are definitely very dumb. All right, guys, I have got to get out of here because I've got another live stream with some of our amazing firearms instructors right at 8 o'clock. Talk about some cool stuff. So I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Make sure you check out this Saturday, 6 o'clock, episode number 2 of Guns and Tacos is going to be on the Tampa Carry YouTube channel, and it is going to be dope. All right, guys, thank you. Be safe.